Have you ever been on a construction site or maybe walked past a massive warehouse or even just seen someone hanging a new sign, way up high above a busy street? And you've caught yourself wondering, how exactly do they get people and all that equipment up there so safely and efficiently? As one of those things you see but maybe don't think too much about. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into two of the most essential, but often confused workhorses of the elevated world. We're talking about the mighty scissor lift and the incredibly versatile cherry picker. You might also know that one as a boom lift. They both promise to get you to new heights, obviously, but as we're going to discover, there are paths to getting up there and the jobs they're best suited for. They couldn't be more distinct, really. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward. We want to equip you with a clear knowledge to understand their unique designs, their very specific applications, and ultimately to confidently know which one is the absolute right tool for the job. And maybe uncover some surprising facts along the way.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating area because choosing the correct access platform, it can genuinely make or break a project. I mean, it impacts everything: timelines, budgets, and most critically, safety. So we're not just going to, list what these machines do. We want to explore why their specific strengths are so crucial for certain types of work and where those really important distinctions lie.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Before we jump into comparing strengths and weaknesses, it's probably vital we quickly define what each of these, frankly, impressive machines actually is.
Yeah.
Let's start with the scissor lift. You've probably spotted these everywhere, right? Job sites, rental yards. I think I even saw one at the local hardware store the other day. They're incredibly common. Can you maybe walk us through what makes a scissor lift, a scissor lift?
Absolutely. And the name, it's very descriptive, as you'd guess. A scissor lift is a type of mobile elevating work platform, sometimes called a man lift.
Yeah.
It's primarily used for vertical access. Think facility maintenance, construction. Its defining feature is that distinctive scissor-like lifting mechanism, those crisscrossing supports. They extend and collapse to raise or lower the platform straight up and down. It's really a design focused squarely on stability and direct verticality.
Right, straight up. And I understand there's more to it than just one generic type. Are there key differences even within the scissor lift family?
That's a great point because their specific design really dictates where they can be used safely and, effectively. We mainly talk about two types: terrain scissors and slab scissors. So, terrain scissors, they're built for the outdoors. They have these rugged, grippy tires, often four-wheel drive, specifically designed for navigating uneven ground, dirt, maybe rough construction sites. Slab scissors, on the other hand, they feature non-marking tires. They're engineered for smooth, flat surfaces, like concrete floors in warehouses or finished indoor spaces.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, this fundamental difference in the tires and the chassis design, it ensures the right machine is matched to the ground conditions. And that's paramount, really, for both operational efficiency and, of course, safety.
Got it. Now, onto the cherry picker. I've always been curious about this one. It's such a charming name, almost whimsical, for what looks like a serious piece of heavy machinery. I've heard it has quite a literal origin story. Is that actually true?
It absolutely does, and it's surprisingly literal. These machines were originally designed way back and used specifically for picking fruit, particularly cherries from tall trees. Yeah, that's exactly how it earned its memorable name. Today, of course, while it's still technically a mobile elevating work platform, a MEWP, it's more commonly known, like you said, as a boom lift.
That's incredible. So it was literally a cherry picker before it evolved into this massive industrial tool we see now.
Yeah.
Wow, what an evolution. And how does its mechanism differ from the straightforward vertical lift of the scissor lift?
Yeah, it's really a testament to adaptable engineering. The tray picker operates with a hydraulic lifting system, but it's attached to an arm, a boom, that's either telescopic or articulated. And this arm extends both up and out.
Oh, okay, out as well.
Exactly. And at the end of this arm, you'll find a platform or maybe a bucket where people or equipment are safely hoisted. The key distinction is that multi-directional movement, up, out, sometimes even around things. That's compared to the purely vertical path of the scissor lift. It lets it reach incredible heights, sure, but also maneuver around obstacles in a way a scissor lift just can't.
Right. So let's talk about the big wins for the scissor lift then. When should someone really consider this robust piece of equipment, especially when its boom-wielding cousin might also be around? What are its most compelling advantages?
Well, there are a few standout advantages, definitely. For starters, they're often more compact for storage when they're not in use. That's a huge plus in tight spaces or, on crowded construction sites. And typically, yes, they are more cost effective, whether you're renting one for a short project or maybe investing in buying a machine for long-term use. But I think for many operators, the sheer simplicity of their controls just moving straight up and down makes them incredibly intuitive, easy to use, probably requires less specialized training than a boom lift.
Yeah, I can definitely see the logic there, especially with simpler controls. Does that cost effectiveness, does it extend beyond just the initial purchase or rental price? Are there maybe some hidden savings we should consider?
Absolutely. It often goes much deeper. What's sometimes overlooked with scissor lifts isn't just that upfront cost, but the hidden savings, let's call them, throughout a project's life cycle. Think about operator training for a sec. The simpler controls, they usually mean quicker certification, less ongoing training investment. That's a huge HR and safety benefit right there.
True.
Then there's the logistics. On a large construction site, their compact storage footprint and, frankly, ease of movement can save valuable real estate. It can streamline workflow. And that directly translates into project efficiency and, yeah, potentially an even faster return on investment. Plus, if we think longer term operational costs, they're also generally easier to maintain compared to the more complex lifts, which means less downtime, lower maintenance bills over their lifespan.
And that makes a lot of sense, actually. So where do scissor lifts really shine? Give us some concrete examples of jobs where this machine is the absolute perfect fit.
Okay, so you typically opt for a scissor lift for tasks that need direct vertical access right below the work area, and often where you need a larger platform for multiple workers or maybe equipment. They're fantastic for things like hanging signage or large-scale exterior work like replacing windows, applying cladding, or even installing curtain walling on a building facade. Basically, any job where you need a stable, broad platform directly beneath where the work is happening. And as you mentioned, their versatility means you can hire them temporarily or purchase them for consistent, long-term use. That offers great flexibility depending on your operational needs.
And you mentioned earlier some are diesel powered. Does that mean they're truly versatile enough for both indoor and outdoor work? Even on maybe tougher terrain?
Oh, they absolutely are. Scissor lifts come in both electric-powered models, great for quiet, emission-free indoor use, think large warehouses, convention centers, and also diesel-powered or hybrid models for outdoor applications. Now, while they generally prefer flat surfaces for optimal safety and operation, those diesel models, particularly the terrain scissors we talked about, they're specifically built with extra durability, robust tires, often heavier duty suspension. They're designed to handle those more challenging, uneven outdoor terrains. This ensures that even when the ground isn't perfectly level, you can still achieve a stable and safe work platform.
And one significant advantage that always stands out to me is that extendable platform feature some have.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like a huge benefit. It allows multiple workers to use the platform at the same time, right? For complex installation or construction or even large-scale decoration work, having that extra space and manpower up high simultaneously must be incredibly efficient.
It's a total game changer, honestly. That extra deck space dramatically boosts productivity. Imagine installing, say, a large section of HVAC ducting or meticulously working on a big mural. With an extendable platform, you could have 2, maybe 3 technicians, plus their tools, plus the materials, all on board working collaboratively. It minimizes trips up and down, saves valuable time and energy on any project. It's really efficiency personified for those vertical, collaborative tasks.
Okay. Now, if the scissor lift is our go-to for straightforward vertical access and stable platforms, the cherry picker then is all about reaching those incredible, often awkward, high-up places that a simple up and down motion just can't tackle.
Yeah.
It sounds like the acrobatic performer of the elevated work world, designed for ultimate flexibility and extreme reach.
Exactly right. The immediate difference in capability is, well, it's striking. Cherry pickers offer a much higher outreach capability. They can reach incredible heights that scissor lifts simply cannot match just due to their design constraints. Now, yes, they are undeniably pricier, both to purchase and to rent. But that cost isn't just about, bells and whistles. It often reflects the more complex engineering involved, specialized hydraulic systems, maybe higher safety standards required for their extreme reach and articulation. So while it's a larger investment up front, it's one that often pays dividends, maybe in avoiding project delays, or more importantly, in navigating challenging safety environments that simpler machines just can't handle.
So their versatility is a huge selling point then. That ability to adapt quickly must make a big difference on complex sites. But is that higher cost always worth it? Or are there situations where that perceived value might actually be, I don't know, overkill?
Hmm. It's rarely overkill when you absolutely need that specific reach or articulation, but the key is understanding why you need it. If you're paying for extreme articulation just to get around one small pipe, maybe, and you could achieve the same access by simply repositioning some ground level stuff, then yes, it might be. But more often than not, its versatility prevents entire logistical headaches. It allows precise positioning without having to move other equipment around. They are incredibly adaptable, can be quickly adjusted to different heights, different spots, maximum efficiency on site. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of, say, worker well-being, their critical safety aspect is a major benefit too. A person on a cherry picker has the security of that cage surrounding them.
Right, the basket.
Yeah, the cage or basket. It significantly reduces the risk of falling from height, which is, let's face it, a paramount concern in any elevated work.
It's remarkable not just how high they go, but how they maneuver to get there, especially around obstructions. What kind of tricky situations are we talking about here? And what types of cherry pickers are best suited for them?
That's a great question because it leads us to the two main types of boom lifts, or cherry pickers. They address these different challenges. First, we have the telescopic boom. It works something like a telescope, extending straight out.
Okay.
It extends both up and out in a straight line. This makes it the perfect choice for going up and over obstructions that would be, frankly, impossible for a scissor lift to clear. Think about needing to reach over a roofline or a piece of fixed equipment on the ground, maybe even a wide trench. Straight reach is key there.
So it's about going straight over. And what about those situations where you need to kind of bend or weave around things?
Exactly. That's where articulated lifts come into their own. These machines offer an extra level of precision and maneuverability. It's because their arm has multiple hinged sections, like an elbow and a shoulder, sort of. This allows it to move horizontally and vertically with far more adjustments. It provides that bit more flexibility for navigating truly tricky spots with lots of obstructions. It allows the operator to bend the boom around obstacles rather than just extending straight over them. Ah, I see.
So if you're trying to reach a specific point inside a complex roof truss system, perhaps, or maybe hanging decorations for a giant Christmas display around a statue in a plaza, an articulated lift truly saves the day there. I can just imagine trying to do that with a telescopic one. It'd be like playing Jenga with a rigid pole.
Huh. Good analogy. That makes them ideal for tasks like, as you said, renovating a building, creating a new build, stocking warehouse items, or generally any other use where you need to reach great heights, but maybe not in a straight line. The key distinction truly is their unique outreach rather than just vertical reach.
This crucial feature allows the platform to lift up and over any objects that are in your way, meaning they can access those awkward places that are impossible for scissor lifts to reach, like getting into a tight corner of a structure or maneuvering around a complex pipe system without needing to dismantle anything on the ground first. Okay, this brings up an interesting point, though. Given their very distinct advantages, are there times when either machine could, theoretically, get the job done? It turns out, yes, there's some fascinating overlap where both options might seem viable, at least initially.
You're absolutely right. While one machine is usually typically better for a specific task just because of its inherent design, there are definitely scenarios where both types of lifts could be employed to achieve the goal. It often comes down to the specifics of the site, the exact nature of the work, and sometimes just the creative problem solving of the crew on the ground.
So what kinds of jobs are we talking about here? Where would you potentially see both a scissor lift and a cherry picker on the same job site, even if one eventually proves more optimal?
Well, the sources list several good examples where you might see that interesting crossover. We're talking about things like industrial manufacturing settings, or maybe outdoor events where temporary elevated access is needed for various tasks. New builds or renovations, definitely. Set staging for performances or large productions. Warehouses for high shelf access, depending on the layout. And even agricultural work beyond just fruit picking, think maintaining large farm structures or irrigation systems.
Okay, beyond warehouses, what about something like outdoor events or set staging? Where might the choice get a bit tricky there? Could you give an example?
Yeah, great question. Let's take an outdoor concert. If you're installing a huge, heavy LED screen directly overhead and you need a broad, stable base for the crew and the screen itself, well, a large scissor lift offers that stable, broad platform. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But now, imagine rigging intricate lighting above the stage's existing framework. Or maybe needing to weave a spotlight carefully around hanging speakers that are already in place. That's where an articulated boom lift really earns its keep. It allows that precise positioning without moving other already set equipment.
Makes sense.
Or think about set staging. If you're painting a massive backdrop flat on a studio floor, a big scissor lift is probably ideal. Lots of space, stable. But if you're hanging props or adjusting scenery high above a complex stage set, needing to navigate around existing structures down below, that's definitely a boom lift's domain. You need that reach and articulation.
So even in these crossover scenarios where both could work, how do you make the ultimate decision? What tips the balance?
It always comes down to the nuances of the specific project. You have to weigh factors like the exact height required. Crucially, the presence or absence of obstructions, what's in the way. Then there's the project budget, of course. And the expected duration of use, is it a quick job or ongoing access? All these things will still likely point towards one option being more optimal, more efficient than the other. Like, take that warehouse example again. If you only need straight vertical access to a high shelf on a perfectly flat floor, a slab scissor lift is often cheaper and more efficient. Simple.
Sure.
But if that same shelf is tucked behind an array of machinery on the floor and requires reaching over that obstacle, well, a cherry picker immediately becomes the superior choice. It potentially saves hours of repositioning ground equipment or maybe even dismantling things. It's really about overall project efficiency and reducing friction.
Okay, so what does this all mean then? We've taken quite a deep dive here, and we've seen that both cherry pickers and scissor lifts are incredibly diverse, really valuable machines. They aid in countless functions, don't they? Across construction, warehousing, set staging, general maintenance, cleaning. They each definitely have their moment to shine.
Absolutely. In essence, if you need simple, robust, vertical lifting functions, maybe at a more affordable price point, manageable size, especially on relatively flat terrain, then a scissor lift is probably your ideal choice. It offers that stability, that capacity for multiple workers, perfect for direct overhead tasks where you need a large, stable work area right below. But for accessing those incredible elevations, particularly when you have to navigate obstructions or need to reach out and over objects to get to awkward places, that's where the cherry picker truly shines. With its unparalleled reach and versatility, it's really built for those complex, multi-directional access challenges where flexibility is absolutely key.
So the next time you see workers suspended high above, whether they're changing a giant light bulb in a stadium maybe, or adding the finishing touches way up on a skyscraper, take a moment. Consider the incredible engineering that went into designing the perfect machine for that specific task they're doing. How does knowing the difference now between these two workhorses empower you? Maybe to make more informed decisions, even in your daily life, when you're faced with selecting the right tool for a specific challenge. Think about how often we just grab a tool, when knowing the nuance of the right one could save time, save effort, maybe prevent damage, or perhaps even make the impossible possible. Something to think about.